Now let us understand the types of cloud. There are three types of cloud majorly: public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Now, public cloud, it's it's the services which are available to general public, and here the infrastructure is housed with the cloud service provider. And so because these are available to general public, these are less secure because they are very open to everyone. The next is the private cloud. Now, the private cloud, they are the systems and services which are accessible within an organization. They're not open to general public, but they might be available to, let's say, an employee, as the set of employees in an organization. They offer more security. And the next is hybrid cloud. Now, hybrid cloud is a mixture of private and the public cloud. These can be implemented in various ways. So, they offer the advantages of both private and public cloud. Now, we will see each one in detail. So, consider if you take the lesson generally from a teacher, it becomes a public cloud. But then, if you have a private tutor, then it becomes a, for example, private cloud. And the hybrid cloud is offer both private and public cloud. So they offer the advantages of both. Now let us understand about the public cloud. So here in the public cloud, the services are offered by some third party vendors, and the consumers are accessing the services after they pay for it. So now the consumers, they pay for either storage or bandwidth, or they pay for the software. It could be anything. And the companies will post whatever services they want to offer on the cloud, and it saves a lot of money uh, for the companies, because they save on the management and on-site maintenance of hardware and application infrastructure, because entire system is that is management and system is responsibility of the cloud service provider. The public clouds are also faster when compared to infrastructure on premises infrastructure. And because these are public clouds, they also offer lot of resources, because I cannot gauge the demands, the rising demands of the users. So that is why they keep enough and extra resources, so that they can cater to all the users. So the elasticity is good with public clouds, but of course security becomes a question. So the advantage is ease of use. There is no physical infrastructure to set up and maintain, and it offers lot of scalability. I can use resources as I want to, and it has predictable operating expenses. The operating expenses are nothing but paid, like a build on user basis. So there is not much of investment that is needed, and uh, that is it's available it is available on a measured basis. Now, when it comes to private cloud is some organizations cloud service, and here it's available only to few people within, that is employees or few people within the organization. Now, because I in an organization, I might know, for example, that there are 10 people who are going to access. So I may not have to include a lot many resources, because I know the number of people who are going to access. And private cloud also make a lot of sense if there is lot of uh, private data, uh, confidential information, and some intellectual property, medical records, financial records. If all these are there, even then private cloud makes a very good candidate. uh, and security is a lot more in place because this is housed within the organization. uh, Resource customization and resource optimization can also be done. So these services are not available to general public. So the various advantages of private cloud is control. There is lot of control on the infrastructure and the software that is used as services in private cloud. The next is security. It is very much secure when compared to public cloud, because they are also isolated from the internet. It is only through VPN do I get to access these private cloud services. And the last one is cost. Because I know the number of users who will be using it, I need not invest a lot on the cost. Now let's come to hybrid cloud. Now hybrid cloud is a mixture of both private cloud and public cloud. So now sometimes I might want to use the goodness of both. So in that case, I might go for hybrid cloud. Now hybrid cloud is can be implemented in various models. There might be various teams handling, some team might be handling the private cloud functionality of the hybrid cloud, and one team might handle the public cloud functionality of the hybrid cloud. So it helps the company also understand and make use of private or public, whichever they want to. So now it can be implemented in various ways. First one is, I run a public cloud service on privately owned infrastructure. So the infrastructure is housed on premises, but it offers public services, like which is available to general public. And the next one is, on a public cloud infrastructure I run a private service which is available only to few people, so that I can control and control it as I want to. And the third is running some workload on public cloud and running some workload on private cloud, some on public, some on private. So, basically, there are three models. One is public infrastructure but a private service. The next one is private infrastructure but a public service, and the last one is few on public and few on private. Now, the advantage that gets offered in such a case is control. So there is uh, so now the organizations are clear as to what they want, how they want, and they can combine the goodness of both. The next is simplicity. So here it requires a simpler setup. See, if I go for a public infrastructure, then I need and a public service, then I need a lot more. But with whatever I want to do, I can uh, limit upon the resources, so it becomes a lot more simple to handle. Security, because they offer, because there is privacy in what we are doing, because it is hybrid cloud and there is privacy, security is always in place. And the next is cloud bursting. Now what is cloud bursting? Cloud bursting means, whenever on premises computing resources are not enough, I move some of the workload to the public cloud. So if private is not enough, I move to the public cloud, so that I make use of the resources. So cloud bursting is a configuration method that uses cloud computing resources whenever on premises infrastructure reaches peak capacity. So whenever organization run out of computing resources in their internal data center, they burst the extra workload to external third party cloud services. Now let us talk about multi-cloud. Now multi-cloud refers to multiple public clouds. Now multiple public clouds. So here these can be from more than one cloud provider. So instead of storing my details, that is the information, whatever resources do I want to access, I can use it in several public clouds. Or sometimes the organizations might make use of many infrastructure as a service vendors, or it can also be like one vendor for IaaS, another vendor for PaaS, and another vendor for SaaS. But one thing is, multi-cloud is what actually gets used everywhere. So an application, but we see a multi-cloud where there are several public clouds. So now what are the differences between public, private and hybrid? So one major difference is who owns the host infrastructure. In public, it will be the cloud service provider. In private, it will be the organization. Who configures the cloud services? In public, it will be the cloud services providers, but in private, again, it will be the organizations which will take care of everything. And of course, in hybrid, it depends upon what is doing, who is doing what. So, private versus public. Private has a lot of initial investments. Public cloud, if I am posting a service on public cloud, there's not major upfront cost. In private cloud, it's a lot more secure, so there is a lot of control over data. In public cloud, I need to put the security systems in place. In private cloud, the IT staff they manage everything, but in public cloud, the cloud service provider manages the resources. In private cloud, so it's a computing model in which an enterprise uses a proprietary architecture and runs cloud servers within its own data center. And here it's a single tenant architecture. Single tenant means only one organization stays within, and the premises, the hardware is also on premises, so there is direct control of underlying cloud infrastructure. So the example could be VMware, Dell EMC, IBM, Red Hat, Microsoft, OpenStack. So they provide private cloud computing models. Then we have public. It's a cloud computing model in which a third party provider makes compute resources available to the general public over the internet. With public cloud, enterprises do not have to set up and maintain their own cloud servers in house. So, someone is posing their services through a third party cloud service provider on the internet, and people use it. Here, multi tenant architecture, that is, there are many different kinds of users, and it has pay as you go pricing model. For example, AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud. Then there is the hybrid model, which offers a mix of both on premises private cloud and third party cloud, public cloud services. So the characteristics could be cloud bursting. So if the resources on premises hardware are not enough, then I move on some workload to the public cloud. The top vendors are both of these. Now, what is the difference between multi cloud and hybrid cloud? Multi cloud means many public cloud. They need not involve any private cloud. But a hybrid cloud means mixing of two or more uh, types of cloud, like, for example, public and private.